Hello, Famous and Gravy listeners. Michael Osborne here. I am thrilled to be popping back on the microphone. So I've got a little bit of a different kind of episode for you today. Let me start with a story. So a few months ago in January, I was in Orlando for a conference. I was giving a talk about what I've learned about media partnerships. And last day of the conference, it's Sunday morning. I'm in the hotel lobby. My flight's not until the early afternoon. I'm kind of killing time. And this guy walks over to me, goes, "Hey, man, I loved hanging out last night. So good talking with you." And I looked at him. I'm like, "I don't think that was me. But who are you? And, tell me about yourself." So we kind of fell into this conversation. Guy was super friendly. I was like, "Where are you? Do you have a show?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm down in San Antonio. I've got a podcast. It's called Relatively Famous, and it's where I interview the relatives of famous people because my older sister is Vanna White. Vanna White of Wheel of Fortune fame. I'm sure many of you know who Vanna White is. Not everybody knows who Vanna White is anymore. That's the way celebrity works. But anyway, I'm like, "Oh, wow, Vanna White's little brother. No shit." So we kind of, I was like, it turns out I got a celebrity podcast too. He's like, "Yeah, tell me about it." So started talking shop a little bit. And he's a really friendly guy. I'm kind of hitting it off with Chip is his name, Chip White. And so this thought popped in my head. I've got a funny claim to fame. It's come up on Famous and Gravy a couple times. Turns out I am the great-great-great-grandson of Herman Melville. I'm a direct descendant of the man who wrote Moby Dick. So I decided to bust that out and be like, "Hey, Chip, I don't know if this is too far afield, but as it turns out, kind of a big deal. Related to Herman Melville. Would that be enough to get me on your show?" And he said, "Hell yeah, come on down to San Antonio. Let's do this." So a few months ago, I went down and recorded an episode of Relatively Famous with Chip White, all about my lineage of being related to Herman Melville. I really enjoyed the conversation. Chip and I, really hit it off. We've got a lot in common. Super, like I said, friendly guy. And it turns out we have a lot to talk about. So I was like, I really want to get him on Famous and Gravy. What would that look like? And so I had this idea. What if I got Chip to drive up to Austin to record in my studio a Vanna White episode? Now, it wouldn't be exactly a Vanna White episode because luckily Vanna is still with us. But I was like, what if I took the Famous and Gravy categories, the first line of the obit, which is all about, what you know this person for, and then 5 things I love about you, what you don't know them for, like what are some surprising bits of information about this person? What if I modified that into questions that I could ask Chip about his sister? I didn't tell him I was doing that, so I kind of sprung this format on him in real time. But that's what we did, and we had a conversation that I personally got a lot out of. I mean, part of what was behind this idea, this impulse, is that one of the things we've heard over and over again on Famous and Gravy is that we have a way of bringing out somebody's humanity. We make celebrities who are flattened and two-dimensional, we make them three-dimensional people. And I wanted to see if that attitude would apply in a conversation with Vanna White's little brother, Chip. So that's today's episode. I think it's a lot of fun. And I'll get to it here in a second. Last thing I'll say before I sign off, please do stay subscribed. There'll be sort of proper Famous and Gravy episodes coming out soon, but I am going to continue to try and do some experimental things on the show. I've got a couple of, I guess you could call them off-format episodes coming out. And as always, please send an email, connect with us. I really love hearing from people. And again, I'm really grateful to everybody who took the time to write in during this production pause and period of hiatus. Okay, enough of that. Here's my conversation with Chip White.
Dude, we are sitting in your coolest studio.
Oh, thank you.
It's got this floor lamp, this like vintage floor lamp with three round lights, this really cool metal basket chandelier. You got 3 bookshelves. There's a Betty White book and a Child Star book, and
got Hunter Thompson
Gonzo over here.
Yeah.
And you got a little mushroom behind you.
We got to expand our mind.
Yeah, you got the squares for the sound on here. So if you're listening and you're not watching, just know we're sitting in this really cool, intimate studio.
Yeah, thanks, man.
But in that case, go to YouTube and watch it because I look pretty good today.
Yeah, I've been told I have a face for radio. So if you're not watching, that's totally cool. So let me ask. Relatively Famous, the podcast. You talk about the long shadow of being the relative of somebody famous. Yeah. What does that mean? I mean, it's sort of self-explanatory, but say more about it.
Well, my sister's still on television.
Yeah. Will's still going, right?
Yeah,
She's still
doing it with Ryan Seacrest. I mean, 40, almost 43 years, 42 years.
Yeah.
That's a big shadow on television.
Yeah.
I've had Morgan Freeman's son. I've had Clint Eastwood's daughter. I've had, Donny Osmond's son, Dolly Parton's sister.
Yeah.
Those are big shadows to stand under and try to make your own sunshine. Mm-hmm. So what do you do? Some people just out of the business. They're not going to follow. Mm-hmm. Some people are trying to do step right behind them. Musicians, a lot of musician kids, a lot of actors' kids.
Yeah.
So how do you get outside of that shadow? How do you make your own sunshine? People probably aren't going to ask me off the bat, hey, are you related to Vanna White? Because White's a pretty common name.
Right.
I have gotten, are you related to Betty White?
Yeah, right.
So I probably make the shadow bigger by doing the podcast or whatever.
The reason I asked, Chip, is that there is something about how you describe it that I recognize as a theme in our show. That for a lot of people, it's funny, celebrity is both attractive and repulsive at the same time. There's a guy named Derek Thompson who said it's like a restaurant that's got 5,000 reviews and it's got a 1 star. And everybody seems to want to go there and nobody actually wants the food. Yeah. Celebrity does not look any fun to me. The loss of your own story, the loss of privacy, the expectations, just what people project onto you looks like a burden. And I think most people probably don't want that. At the same time, there is something still kind of enviable, attractive. I wish I had that kind of attention. I wish people saw me as special, that feels like that's part of the long shadow idea.
I think social media has changed a lot of that.
Yes.
Because the minute you get elevated, people just the hate, the teardown comes. I mean, it's just vicious.
The canceling happens almost as after you get anointed.
Yeah, and so it's very vicious, more so than it. I mean, you had the tabloids, but not. You had to go to the supermarket, stand in line.
They're kind of in a bucket,
right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, man, they're just, and everyone feels they can stand behind the phone and say whatever they want without consequences. So it is. I think it's a lot more difficult for celebrity in that manner. Yeah. And a lot of people want to be famous for nothing.
Right.
Right. For doing a viral video of being an asshole or pardon my,
But I guess to the previous question about what does a long shadow mean? Yeah. And I like your use of the word sunlight there. How do you create your own sunlight? Yeah. I mean, I think it is on some level about validation thing.
And it has to do with celebrity. I mean, think about anyone who's had, before Vanna was famous, high school. Yeah. Oh, you're Vanna's brother. Are you going to be as smart as she is? Are you going to make A's? Or, are you going to be in the not cheerleader, obviously, but
right. No, but like in the popular crowd,
right? Are you gonna, you're following in that shadow of an older sibling 90% of the time, if you have one, good or bad.
I mean, it is representative of those family dynamics that we all have.
So you just get to feel that or see that on a higher level when your relative is famous, especially a sibling.
Our show is ultimately about self-reflection. Right. And what are the journeys we're charting for ourselves? And, the question that we push on is, what can a celebrity life story teach us about us? There's some themes around Relatively Famous that feel familiar to Famous and Gravy. Yeah. Okay. I want to ask you some questions about Vanna. Okay. And tell me when you don't want to answer. Okay. All right. So when people think of Vanna White, they are going to think Wheel of Fortune, beautiful. What does that miss? What do people not know about her that they should? She's
quietly savvy.
Savvy. Interesting. Say more about that.
She is God willing, that, she was probably never going to be a broke celebrity.
Yeah.
She's generous, but
she's got a business sense
that people wouldn't think of.
Interesting. Yeah. Has that been there, or is that a learned thing?
I think it has been there. And the more I think back through our life as kids, I used to think, well, she got money and an accountant helped her. But I think back, it's like, she would send me money from college or something, or $10 or something. She would always buy a really nice present. I mean, she's always been pretty. She's always had money when I've been broke all my life.
Let's just be honest. Yeah.
We're driving to school. I got lunch money. Give me a Coke and a honey bun.
Yeah. That's an interesting. Yeah, I don't think most people would know that about her. That's cool. I mean, and to my previous point, kind of enviable. I wish I had better business sense, man. Tell me about it.
Oh, God. Yeah. I have blown more money than...
Right. Well, and I guess it's sort of another related question. Where do people have the wrong impression about her? What do you think people get wrong about her?
What do I think they get wrong about her? I think, a lot of people think she's just a bimbo. It's like she's got this job and it's no big deal.
And lucked into the easiest job in the world.
And she did luck into it, so to speak. I mean, but she worked hard before she got there.
Yeah.
She went to modeling school in Atlanta. She slept on a floor in Hollywood with nothing.
Wow.
She was in some small movies.
Yeah.
She wanted to be an actress.
Yeah.
In the 3rd grade, I had appendicitis. And I had my appendix out, so I'm laying on the sofa watching TV, and this TV show called Rat Patrol, which was long ago, came on, and my mother's in the kitchen cooking, and she goes, "That's your uncle, Christopher George, on TV." It's like, I have an uncle on TV? I want to be on TV. So that's really when it started. The whole reason I wanted to be on TV since I was a little girl, I wanted to give people a good feeling and try to show them kindness, or just to be a good person and be a good role model. And that's why I'm on TV, and I feel like me playing myself on TV, I'm able to do that. I'm not playing a character. I am who I am. This is who I am. Especially with this game show and making people happy and giving money away. It's a half hour of family fun.
And look, she didn't think Wheel of Fortune was going to be her career.
Right.
I mean, she's like, okay, because at the time it was a daytime game show.
Yeah.
For the first year of her career. And then it got syndicated.
Yeah.
And then it was a daytime and a nighttime. It was 2 different versions.
Turned into a different opportunity.
Yeah. And when she first got it, I think they were paying $1,500 a week or something like that, which in the early 80s, she's like, I'm rolling, you know?
Yeah. Hamburgers on me.
Yeah, but she just figured it would be a stepping stone.
Yeah.
She has a line of yarn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
Because she crochets, makes baby blankets, and she donates a huge percentage of that to St. Jude's.
I saw that.
And she's written some pretty big checks to them out of her money, not the yarn company's money.
No, she put in, I think, put in her time, know, and I think you answered the question. What do people get wrong? Some lucky bimbo that stumbled into, a cash cow, and that misses actual work and, to your previous point, savviness.
And she works. I mean, when it was hot, she was working. She wasn't necessarily taping a show every day, but she was doing commercials doing personal appearances, and got to go see some cool places. She did the book tour. She had the book. And we would show up for book signings, and there would be 10,000 people, 3,000 people, depending on where you were. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Now it's different today, as I've witnessed when we go in places. People come and get photos, but it's not like all of a sudden a mob.
Right. Something I discovered about Vanna White, and when I was doing a little bit of research, is that she has a Guinness Book World Records for clapping. Yeah. There's like an award she got, and what I read is that she has clapped an estimated 606 times per show. That's a lot of clapping.
Yeah.
I'm here to congratulate Vanna, who holds the Guinness World Records title for the most frequent clapper. Her record currently stands at nearly 3.5 million claps over the last 30 seasons.
It's hard to believe that I do not have calluses after all these years. Look how smooth.
Which, at first I was like, okay, that's kind of silly. But you know what? I started thinking about it. Clapping is a gesture of being supportive.
Yeah.
And so something I think is great about Vanna White is that at least her public persona is, one of generosity and support.
And that's her.
Is
all the
that
way
true?
around. That's actually true. Yeah. She is always supportive of people. She is not negative. I've never heard her say, well, I can't believe so-and-so got that, movie or whatever.
She laughed
Actually,
I was going to ask about that. When you decided to, launch the podcast, Relatively Famous, it had her sign off?
Yes, I did. I told her we wanted to do it. She actually did a promo for us. We're going to shoot an episode where she actually interviews me.
I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, I think we're going to shoot it May 5th. I'm not sure when it'll come out.
She's got a good producer. I tell her I have thoughts. I'm more than happy to participate in the interview prep. That's really cool. What else do you love about her? What's something that people would be surprised to learn that you love about your sister?
She seems to have unconditional love because I have given her many opportunities to not want to love her brother.
Yeah. Do you struggle with unconditional love?
I do.
Yeah, I think I do too.
I struggle with unconditional love. I struggle with wanting to give love instead of violence or whatever. Does that sound right?
It's interesting. I don't want to talk too much about recovery, although you and I have that in common. It's very easy to walk into a room and see how you're different from other people. See if you can pay attention to how you're similar to other people. It's a principle that I want to practice in all my affairs, right? Is that it's very easy for me to size people up and say, I got nothing in common with you. And especially if the first impression pisses me off, the harder thing to do is flip that around and say, what might I have in common with this person that I wouldn't expect to do? And I think that relates to this idea of unconditional love.
That kind of goes back to a question we've talked about before was, I was on a podcast called Humanity 2.0.
Yeah, you told me about this. Yeah.
And the question she asked, and she goes, Chip, do you think you're a good person?
Yeah. I really wish I got that question ahead of time. I would have thought of it.
Because I think we all want to perceive we're good people. But if you go back and you walk in that room, I don't know if I am or not now that I think about it.
Yeah, you start comparing.
Yeah.
I actually had a real recent kind of experience with this. My son and I had a hard conversation a few months ago, and he's just turned 12, so he's young. He's, right on the cusp of middle school. It's all about to get real complicated,
He's about to run into middle school girls. Meanest creatures on earth.
It's coming, right? And I'm trying to...
just kidding, people.
But he said something to me that, kind of took me aback. But it was clear that what he was saying was he felt criticized by me too much. And I realized that I was really hurting his confidence. And that what he needs from me is encouragement and confidence. And that's how I'm interpreting unconditional love on some level. That's what that looks like. It's like, doesn't matter what you do or don't do. No matter what, you're my boy. I'm going to love you forever.
Exactly.
And I need to not just think that, I need to express that, and I need to make sure you know that on some level.
But on the flip side too is you're the parent.
Yeah.
You're not the best friend.
That's right. That's right. And it's a hard lesson for me to learn too, because one of my character defects is I want everybody to like me. Yeah.
What's that the old saying in AA? It's like you walk into a room of 100 people, 99 love you, and the one that doesn't, you'll spend the whole party trying to convince them.
You're right. That's exactly right.
But with my son, it's the same thing. I won't say we were hard on him. He was an only child, so he definitely got the blunt.
I got a lot of attention, right? Not expectations.
But we laugh about this today. Board games, card games, would not let him win. I'm talking chutes and ladders. I'd let him win enough to want to continue to play, but I wouldn't let him win to win.
Yeah.
You got to learn the rules, and you got to learn how to win.
Yeah. I'm not doing you any favors
Yeah.
by letting you rack up a bunch of W's when I'm being an idiot. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
And to this day, when he plays board games, his friends are like, dude, you got to chill out. He goes, you didn't play board games in my house, you know?
There is one goal here.
Yeah. So, so I think it's that hard part of trying to give them lessons.
Right.
Where they feel like you're criticizing them all the time, and you're just, you want them to be better than I am.
Yeah, and I mean, when it comes to parenting, I know I'm going to screw this up, but I do think asking that question, am I striving for unconditional love, that is a little bit different than anything you want to do is fine.
Yes.
And
I'm not saying she's not, I won't say judgmental is the word. I'm not saying she's not guiding with her kids. Like, she has an unconditional love.
Yeah.
But she still, no matter what you do, I feel she's like,
you see that in her.
You're going to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like your kid. Like,
actually, let's talk about. So she's got 2 kids.
She's got 2 kids,
and she's had a couple of marriages.
She is on her second marriage.
But there was somebody who she almost married. I looked this up.
John Gibson.
Well, John Gibson, who died in a plane crash.
Yes.
And this is before she had her kids, right?
Yeah.
You're right.
She was married to George Santapietro. That's the father of her kids.
Okay. Yeah. I thought I saw something about somebody she was with. For
Michael.
A while.
There was a guy, Michael.
Okay. I forget his whole story, but I mean, he was really handsome man, obviously.
John?
Yeah.
Her husband now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I was talking about John Gibson.
John Gibson. Yeah, was, they were dating pre-Wheel.
Okay.
She got Will while they were dating, and he died pretty
suddenly in a plane crash.
86. When it was kind of peaking.
But that does seem like that scar is going to stay with you a long time.
Yeah.
It seemed like they had, from what
they
I
were
can
living
tell,
together. He was an actor.
Yeah.
On soap operas.
That's
and the Chippendales dancer.
Chippendales, I saw that as well, which is hilarious.
That's where they met, actually. Chippendales.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah.
Wait, say more about that. They were like, was she at a Chippendale?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Chippendales is in LA. I'm probably one of the few males that actually had a membership card.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's really funny.
And got to hang out in the DJ booth a couple times during the female part only.
Yeah.
But my friends and I, we would always go afterwards, and it was always somebody to dance with.
Yeah, I bet there was. Yeah. Wow.
So.
Okay, so part of what I'm doing with this conversation, and I might as well just come clean with it now, is I'm following a little bit of the famous and gravy structure, the famous and gravy category. So
that's fine.
She's, obviously, she's still with us, thank goodness. So,
yes.
The first category for us, the first line of the obit is often about public narrative versus private narrative. And the second one, 5 things I love about you, things you wouldn't know about this person that you should. And then there's a one love category. The next one, I don't know how I want to ask this. And so you help me draw the right lines here. But there is a category around net worth. I don't care how much money your sister is actually worth, but I could probably, only by virtue of having done this podcast 125 times, take a pretty educated guess that she's done fairly well. Being on this on TV, it adds up at some point. The question I wanted to ask you is, do y'all have healthy conversations about money? Are y'all able to talk about it? It's such a hard topic and let me say this actually, Chip, and maybe this will make it easier. My brother's doing a lot better than I am. We can have conversations about money, but it's a fraught area in a way.
I've never asked her what she's worth.
Yeah.
Of course, the internet's going to give you 6 different answers.
Right. Right.
And
they're all going to be wrong.
And I'm like, dang.
Yeah. Is it weird?
There were points where it was jealousy. You know, and I think we've talked about that before too. It's like, well, where's my $1 million? You know? Gratitude that she's where she is. I mean, her generosity is so beyond.
It's very real.
With our dad and stepmom, me. I mean, she's been extreme.
She's helped take care of the family. Yeah.
Helped take care of the family over the years. I mean, probably to a detriment to her, unfortunately, Do
you feel like she's had to draw lines around that with you at some point?
Yes. And in the beginning, especially with career, now, I've made some great short films, and she has helped on all of them at some point, but she didn't. It didn't start with, "Hey, I'm going to make a movie. Oh, great! Here's a check."
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Once it was done, she goes, "Damn, that was really good."
Yeah. Well, and I really liked your previous point too about Vanna being a savvy person. It sounds like to hear you describe it, I'm sure it's complicated, but it sounds like there's some clear-eyed thinking about how to handle her success.
Oh yeah,
on some level, and that's
I think so. I think she's been very level-headed with it.
Yeah, it's easy to. That's the thing I think. It would just go to my head.
Oh, I've been with her, and it went to my head, and she's put me in my place.
Yeah, actually, that's interesting. That's almost like maybe the point of having siblings. Sometimes is that by putting you in your place, she learned something about herself in that, and like where to draw some lines.
Yeah, and I'm not justifying. You watch movies, you read, so the idea of the manager or whatever, is a dick. Or,
right.
And I would be with her and something would come up and I would jump into that mode quickly and being an asshole. And she's like, basically, shut up.
I'd imagine there's a certain protective thing that would happen with a brother.
Yeah, but but it gave me lessons like, oh, you know what? She's right. And I try not to get that way. It's airports, big thing.
Yeah. Big public spaces.
Yeah, and stuff happens, man. It takes a line. There's whatever, man. It's like it's not that person's fault.
Yeah.
So I try not to be the dick to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let me move on to the next question. All right. Let's see. Oh, you and I talked about this last time. But what was the connection with her and the Gary Shandling show?
Okay.
Yeah, because that's one of my favorite Famous and Gravy episodes, and this is a moment that is worthy of a tiny trophy.
Yeah. Gary. So in the TV show Gary Shandling,
and this is before the Larry Sanders Show, right?
Yes, it was. And it was the Gary Shandling show. She was mentioned in almost every episode because Gary in the plot, Gary moved into Vanna's old apartment.
Yeah.
And that was the whole part of the premise. Like, this is Vanna White's old apartment.
Yeah.
What about the previous owners? You did change the locks.
No, I didn't, but I can't picture Vanna White coming back to rob me. Not Vanna White.
I'd like to try to solve the puzzle. Is it I stole Gary Shandling's furniture?
You're right.
And she loved it. She thought it was hilarious because she loved Gary.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
What's the best words to live by advice you ever got from your sister?
Ooh. Best words of advice. Stop feeling guilty.
Like forgive yourself?
When things happen with family members or something and you just don't feel like you're living up to it, but yet the things happen because of consequences to their actions, and it's like, oh man, I feel guilty because I'm not calling enough. I'm not spending enough time. And she was like, don't feel guilty. Yeah, stop feeling guilty. Get off your own back,
Yeah.
I still feel guilty about stuff that happened with her when I was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
different.
And all these things through our life, I still feel good. She's forgiven me. At least she says she has. But in my mind, man, they still, and I can't, as a program, I pray to let them go. I do 4 steps. And
This is the real step work thing. Yeah.
They still jump in there, man. It's
that one of the things I think you do learn in recovery and in 12-step programs is self-forgiveness on some level, and how to, like, the memories that can sneak up on you at 3 a.m. and tell you what a piece of shit you are, how to face those honestly and use those to help somebody else who's struggling just as much.
But even with 23 years sober, dude, I still struggle with that.
Oh, are you kidding?
I remember
I beat the shit out of myself.
Let's see, I got sober at 42. for my 50th, so 8 years sober.
Yeah.
My 50th birthday, Vanna and my wife are going, what do you want for your birthday? I want a Jaguar, just kind of joking because I've had one before when I was a teenager, broke my ass. But that's another story, I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, they surprised me with a Jaguar. Yeah, a 2002 S-Type 4.2.
Ooh, yeah.
And I had the hardest time accepting it. It made my wife cry because I was like, wait, your car's older than mine. I've got the Cadillac. Why? I couldn't.
You just didn't feel worthy of it?
I didn't feel worthy. Like, why?
Yeah.
Don't you guys remember 8 years ago, all the stuff that, so I had this hardest time accepting this gift and really coming to terms with it. And the crazy thing was there's a men's retreat, recovery retreat called The Rock outside of Atlanta in October and March of every year.
So it's like after Drop the Rock? Is that
yeah. So it's like 400 men. Yeah. And I've gone several times, and anytime there's something going on, if you mention it at the beginning, by the end, people have shared their experience. That weekend, I didn't say anything, man. I was miserable all weekend. 6 a.m. on Sunday when it's ending, I'm taking my coffee pot back. I start talking to this guy, Ricky. And I said, I told him the story, and he goes, my wife did the same thing to me. And I had the hardest time. So if I had said something on Friday, he and I could have talked about it and I'd have had a great weekend.
Yeah.
So
you went through the whole weekend.
But so you think you're the only person going through something.
Yeah.
Right? No matter how stupid it is. I mean, God, how could you not feel guilty? How can you not be grateful to get this car?
Yeah. I hope the story ends with you found peace with the
Jaguar.
Jaguar.
I love the car, man.
Yeah, okay,
I hated to sell it, I was like, man.
I love that the moral here is at the end I found peace with my new Jaguar.
I did. It was, I hated to sell the thing, but man, it was fun to drive.
Yeah.
It guzzled some gas, but it was like that 4.2 would kick it.
Yeah. Goddamn.
Now I drive a Honda, just so you know.
Which is about humility. Another principle. Okay. Here's a question. So this is sort of my way of thinking about the man in the mirror category on Famous and Gravy. So your sister is a symbol of beauty. She has been for decades. Do you ever get the impression that's a burden? That God-given traits can be both a blessing and a curse. I've been thinking about musical talent, for example, and how, the expectations that we have on prodigies. And there's a question we ask a lot on the show about self-acceptance, but that I think can become, in a paradoxical kind of way, more confusing if you're, one of the most beautiful people according to People magazine.
Yeah, I think that beauty is probably the toughest because we age.
Yeah.
And you're never going to be what that was. Musically, your talents may slip.
Yeah.
But you can still go on stage and perform a group of people.
So when the talent is more external in some sense, or perceived by others, right? Or God-given traits is maybe a better way of putting it.
I think that the being...
So does it look hard for her, I guess, is the question, like having been a symbol of like...
Yeah, I think she struggles with it. Now, on the flip side, it doesn't define her. There are more people in America with a cell phone photo of her with no makeup than probably any celebrity I know. She doesn't care. She goes out, pulls it back in a ponytail, and she's out.
Yeah. So she's not precious about that.
No.
Yeah, that's cool.
No.
Okay, here's a question I'm dying to ask. So I know, we talked about it a little bit. You're a sober guy. I am too. We do have a category in Famous and Gravy: coffee, cocktail, cannabis. What do you feel like is the best way to unlock her? Like, what's the best setting to hang with her and to sort of see a side of her that...
I think it would be dinner. Like, she'll have a glass of wine or two.
Yeah.
In her home or somewhere personal.
Yeah. Are y'all good about like dinner as a ritual? I mean, are there family dinners where good dialogue?
Yeah, the crazy thing is, God, I can't think of the last time we really had a family dinner, but just because she's LA, I'm in Texas.
Yeah.
getting everyone together's
Doesn't happen as much.
it doesn't happen as much.
Y'all need to do that, Chad.
I know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I am finding, and I suspect you are too. Small gestures go a long way,
Yeah.
I got an extra hour. You want to grab a cup of coffee? I especially I'm really into it with my nephews and nieces, just because I want to be in their lives.
Yeah.
I kind of want them to know, it's not even that I need to be an important figure. I just think that sometimes as you get older, I think this is where sibling relationships can be really interesting, because as I get older, there is more of a need to basically swap notes with my brother and sister. They had a different experience of my parents than I've had. And I kind of think that'll be true for their kids, that there's going to come a point where my brother and sister's kids just need to know a little bit more or have a different,
Oh, man,
take on
I wish
on
I'd
their
have
folks.
written down or recorded conversations with my dad. Because I remember them, but now there's something like my name's Herbert Stackley White III. He was Herbert Stackley Jr.
Wait, your actual name is Herbert Stackley?
White.
Where did Chip come from then?
Chip off the old block.
Oh,
This
that's
right here is
great.
my father, dude.
That's great.
I'm a chip off the old block.
Oh, that's great. When did you get that nickname? I got to ask.
From birth.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, literally from birth. They're
Yeah, wow.
That's Herbert's son.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a chip off the old block.
Yeah.
So my grandfather, Stackley, wasn't his original middle name. I can't remember what it was. And now my dad's gone. I didn't write it down, but he legally had it changed to Stackley because he hated whatever his middle name was.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, I want to try and draw it to a close in terms of where the one thing I got to say is I feel like I got a much more three-dimensional picture of Vanna White. I think which is kind of awesome. I got to say, dude, I grew up with Wheel, and I used to pretend to be sick so that I could stay home from school to watch Wheel of Fortune and Price is Right. That was so there's a kind of great coincidence of it all for me, and in that I see coincidence is not coincidence to me anymore.
So okay, so I'll go back to one of your other questions. Things
Please.
that people wouldn't expect about Vanna.
Yeah.
She doesn't live in a glittery house like you would think because of her dresses, So
I imagine everything sparkles.
So it's so I think that's something people wouldn't understand. At one point, her house was very European, old European art. And now they just built a new house in the desert that's very not modern. What's the word I'm looking for?
I mean, is it sparse? Is it sort of like Southwestern?
What's the 50s? What do you call it? Something that's 40s or 50s?
Oh, God, I don't know. I'm not really. But I think what you're getting at is a appreciate the finer things in life kind of quality, right?
Yeah, more than you would think, but she's not going out and buying 5 different Rolexes or this.
It's not showy.
She drove a Prius for 15 or 20 years, whatever.
I mean, do you think, on balance, this is such a hard question to ask, but is she grateful for Wheel? She must be.
Oh, yeah.
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 It's one of those things that because of the singular association with it, right?
Yeah.
She is going to be that it almost, it's been such a gift, but it can also cloud out the rest of her humanity. And I guess that's why I'm asking the question.
She didn't really ever become an actress because of it. She played herself in a lot of things.
Yeah.
She did play like a newscaster in not Mario Brothers. Maybe it was one of those movies, So she has done some stuff not as herself, but but it's always been a kind of a caricature of herself.
Yeah.
So it hindered, I would say, her acting career.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side, she's still going.
Yeah. Yeah. And Wheel of Fortune is an institution.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not just the success of the show. This is something I've really come to believe pretty strongly as a result of Famous and Gravy, is that things that we think are trivial or light are actually really important. Mm-hmm. That there's a lot of things we cannot agree on anymore, but we can sit down and watch Wheel of Fortune and have a good time, right? And I kind of think that those things that bring us together, and I look, to pay her a compliment, to go back earlier, her clapping and being supportive is like part of the experience. It's like, win or lose, she's cheering people on.
Yeah. To take Wheel of Fortune to, as you said, something bigger than it is, that it's important. It's a game show on TV. It's not important. There are families that are 3 generations deep, maybe even 4, who for 20 years, that was important. That was family time. It taught their kids the alphabet. It taught them how to read.
Yeah. And she's part of that.
Yeah. People feel she's part of the family almost.
Yeah.
You know?
That's really cool. I got one other thing to share just because, I don't know, maybe coincidence, maybe not. My dad is getting older. He's in his early 80s now. It's still with us, but, you know, losing a step here and there. And he's wanting to connect with my kids. And I'm like, we need games to play. So my kids have been learning dominoes, and he's not just letting them win. And so every Saturday morning for the last several months, he comes over with donuts and kolaches, and we all sit and play dominoes. Kids learn math. And I think we need games to play.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we need a playful side to connect across generations, which is, I guess I was thinking about that as you were talking about, like, the legacy of Wheel.
You don't just sit and watch Wheel, you play the game.
Totally.
Who's
You play along.
Who's going to guess it first? Who's going to
Yes.
guess the letters?
Yes.
You know, growing up, my mom was a big puzzles. We, as a family, we sat and did jigsaw puzzles together.
Yeah.
Vanna still does. As a matter of fact, she wanted to buy one the other day. My mom and I, after Vanna had left she might have still been in high school, but definitely after she left for college, backgammon. My mom and I would sit and play backgammon for hours.
I love backgammon.
We
Would
would just keep a running game. You didn't play to 50. we just kept it going. It's 1,002 to 8.
You're right.
You know?
I need dinner. I got to walk later.
And that's the things we did with our son too. Is like we kind of made that time to play video games. We didn't watch Wheel of Fortune as much as we should have.
Yeah.
Sadly enough.
I don't know. You know what? Stop feeling guilty.
Yeah.
Chip, I think I got what I wanted out of this conversation.
Okay.
This was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
and,
I love this. Man.
I encourage people to check out Relatively Famous. I had a great time talking about my lineage with Herman Melville there. And Chip, thanks again for coming out, man. Great to connect with you again, and we'll do it again, I hope.
My pleasure. Anytime. And, we'll do a follow-up. Maybe they'll do a new Moby Dick movie, and we can bring you on.
Somebody. Surely. They're running out of ideas in Hollywood. Okay, so that was my conversation with Chip White. Again, check out the episode I did with him on Relatively Famous. I'll link to it in the show notes. Quick round of credits here. Famous and Gravy was created by Amit Kapoor and me, Michael Osborne. This episode was produced by Jacob Weiss with original music by Kevin Strang. If you have feedback, please email us, follow us on social, all the usual things. Okay, thanks so much, and stay tuned for more Famous and Gravy episodes soon.